To start the season, I don't think there were great expectations with the Cleveland Browns because we knew Deshaun Watson was going to be suspended, maybe the entire season, certainly more than half the season. Could the Browns compete? We knew the Bengals, they had gone to the Super Bowl, they were going to be formidable. I thought the Ravens were the team to beat in the division, and the Steelers are the Steelers, which means they can still be a quality team. But now you have the Cleveland Browns just 2 games behind the Ravens for first place in the AFC North after they roughed up the Bengals last night. Watson's going to come back in a couple of weeks. I don't know what he's going to look like. I know the last time we saw him on the field, he was an elite quarterback. But they do have a bright offensive coach in Kevin Stefanski. Amari Cooper looks like a number 1 receiver, but the defense is the difference there. When the defense plays at an elite level like they did last night, that's when you start to look at the possibilities of, could Cleveland hang in there and be a spoiler if they happen to get into the postseason? The Browns have sacked Joe Burrow quite a few times, 5 times last night. Joe Burrow's been sacked 112 times since he came into the league. That's the most in the league. He gets sacked on an average of 3.3 times per game. This is a Cincinnati offensive line that regrouped in the offseason. They brought in new offensive linemen. The only quarterback to play at least 30 games and be sacked more frequently than Joe Burrow. This is in the Super Bowl era. I'll give you 50 guesses. Paulie, I'll start with you.
How about, can you give us a decade? I'll go Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham, no. In the 70s, I believe this would be. In the 70s is when this quarterback played. I think he did it when he was playing for the Cardinals, if that helps anybody. Yeah, Paulie?
Neil Lomax?
Neil Lomax. He was sacked 3.4 times per game. And here's Joe Burrow, 3.3 times per game, and they improved, in quotations, their offensive line in the offseason. But the Cleveland Browns looked good last night. If you're watching, you're going, hey, Jacoby Brissett looks good. Nick Chubb, best running back in the league. Mari Cooper, number 1 receiver. Defense looks good. They may trade Kareem Hunt today. Or maybe they keep him, but it certainly feels like they're going to try to, unload it. There's teams like the Rams. There's a couple of teams that could bring in somebody like Kareem Hunt, and he would be an immediate upgrade there. But, here's a team that's sort of hanging in there. Now, the Ravens went out and got Roquan Smith from the Bears, and that's a great pickup for them because we've seen the offense and we've seen the defense, and the defense needed some work. Smith has over 600 tackles since coming into the league in 2018. The only other player with more tackles is Bobby Wagner. But Roquan Smith comes in. As a linebacker, middle linebacker, you don't have to give up that much. You give up a second and a fourth, and this is an all-pro impact guy. The Bears, they're unloading. Robert Quinn, they got rid of him. They get rid of Roquan Smith, who didn't want to be there, and I think was trying to get traded before the season started. There's a lot of things going on in the AFC North. Cincinnati is going to have to survive without Jamar Chase, and you saw that last night. That offense struggled mightily. They do have some good players. Boyd and Higgins are good. They got running back by committee. You got Joe Mixon in there. You got Burrow in there. At times, that defensive line looked really good, but Burrow never looked comfortable back there, and give credit to the Cleveland Browns.